33.5% of the total project amount that they have here. So the total amount for the district's proportional share is going to be $84,423.75. Also added to the item itself is improvements being made on site for your approval to be made. They're planning on adding additional concrete area for parking of parks and street-related equipment, materials, a dumpster enclosure. They're adding a gate in. All of those portions of the project are going to be funded by the town.
Yeah, Kevin?
We talked last meeting about the country club participating in some
Correct.
more. What's
The town reached out to the country club and they were unable to or unwilling to participate to the best of my knowledge. That's what I was informed of.
So we can put a toll gate there?
Yeah, if you'd like to try so, we can do that.
Good.
I wasn't involved in those negotiations. That was
That's a
part of the town.
deal, yeah.
Bill?
I have a motion. I move to approve the expenditure of no more than $84,423.75 for the Junction Way Extension Project and maintenance building lease track improvements per previous agreement with the Town of Trophy Club, and authorize the general manager to sign any associated documents required.
Not to exceed the 84?
Not to exceed.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, have a second?
I'll second.
Director Rose moved. The motion was read. Vice President Mark Chapman, second. Any further discussion? Just to reiterate, it was a not to exceed 84,423.75.
Yep.
Okay. All those in favor? It is unanimous. Thank you. Item 4. Discussion and update regarding a request for American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA, funds for infrastructure improvement projects. Alan?
During last month's meeting, the request was to reach out to Denton County to see if they were going to have any participating funds for any, excuse me, local entities or government entities within government, but within Denton County. I did reach out to Jody over there at Denton County and provided his response to you that Denton County hasn't assigned any direct ARPA funding for external government entities. So he did say to let him know any proposed projects. I let him know what our general outlook would be for water line replacements, potential for a fire engine replacement in the future, and I have not heard any further discussion from him. Previous correspondence with Denton County and Collin County in my career have been typically transportation-related funding of projects. So this is the response they gave us. I also reached out to Tarrant County and have not received any response from them at all.
So in the packet, we're looking at the formal you reaching out to them and them responding back. But also, didn't you also go back to them? And I don't know if that's in the packet. I think you just said it, where they said, hey, we don't have anything right now, but if you want to kind of give us a, for lack of a better term, a wish list.
Correct.
And we did.
That was part of the overall, basically letting them know we had, $35 million of potential maintenance and repair items on water side, generator projects. The fire truck was one of them as well. And we let them know that information, and obviously if they have anything that comes available that falls under to what they're wanting to look at doing with other governmental entities, then more than likely Jody will reach out to us.
You put that lift station in there too?
I put in lift station generators.
And again, Tarrant County, you reached out, similar thing, but they didn't respond back.
No response.
Bill?
My reading of the associated documents, I see that we can request from counties and local governments. So I have a motion. I move that the general manager make written requests to the towns of Westlake and Trophy Club to determine the process and information required to submit requests for ARPA funds to those entities.
I'm uncertain if y'all are aware, but my understanding is the town has already allocated their proportional shares, so I'm uncertain if they even have anything available.
Yeah, I understand that there was a second funding drive coming, but with regard to that, I'm sure that if they don't want to or don't have the funds, they'll be more than happy to advise us.
Understood. My understanding was that the previous funding is also wrapped into what they had allocated. And I was unable to locate if Westlake had allocated any money, but I saw where this last year they were anticipating $200,000 during last year's budget. I'm not sure if they've expended any of that money yet.
Okay, so Director Rose has made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Director Rose made the motion to reach out, to authorize the general manager to reach out to the town. And Kelly,
Westlake.
Secretary, to
Westlake, too.
Westlake and Trophy Club, thank you. Kelly seconded. Further discussion? All those in favor? Okay, 4-4. All those, one against. Kevin? Okay. Item 5, consider an act regarding work order number 3 with Carver for professional engineering services related to lift station generator improvements for a total cost of 82, whoops, I crossed it off. Let me look at yours, Kelly.
82,920.
82,923. And,
920.
oh, 920, thank you. And authorize the general manager to execute the necessary contract documents. Alan?
Yes, directors, as part of the current CIP project, we had discussed implementing backup generators to each one of our lift stations throughout the district. And this work order will provide the design necessary to accommodate that, to make sure we have enough spacing on site for each one. Also making sure that it meets the NFPA standards as well for fire prevention. So the intent is to go ahead and get the design done. Hopefully we'll have all that done and completed by the end of this fiscal year. Next fiscal year, we plan to budget for the implementation of bidding and installation for those generators.
It doesn't
Okay.
include one, though.
Their
It's not on. it's not on the-
lift station 1 is not included on
I know,
this.
that's what I'm just saying.
Correct.
You said all the lift stations. I just.
Lift station 20 is also not included on this because of its size. It's so small, we can put a little small package generator out there and hook it up, or we can use a vac truck to
I
keep
just
up
want
with
to
that.
make it clear it wasn't all of them.
Correct.
Okay.
Okay. Mark, you want to make a motion? Mark?
I make a motion to approve work order number 3 with Garver for the professional services related to lift station generator improvements for a total cost of not to exceed $82,920, and authorize the general manager to execute the necessary documents.
Second.
Bill, Director Rose. So Vice President Chapman has made the motion. Director Rose has second. Any further discussion? All those in favor? It is unanimous. Item 6, consider an act regarding the purchase of replacement pumps for district wastewater lift stations. Alan and/or
Mike,
Mike?
you want to speak on this?
Sure. We are trying to get some redundancy for our lift station pumps right now. You could see 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, we do not have spare pumps for. The lead times on these pumps are getting to be very lengthy. I mean, some of them are 3 to 6 months when you call to get a pump now. So we wanted to go ahead and purchase spares for that now so we can shelve them. So if we do have a pump go down, we will have a replacement for it, and we don't have downtime and the possibility of an SSO.
Do we need pumps for every one of them, or can we get like 3 of them? Because what's the chances of all of them going down?
So these, we do have a few lift stations, a lift station in with our influent pumps where we can double use that pump, you know, as a redundancy. But these purchases right here, these are standalone pumps. They don't fit anything else, and the lead time on them is very great.
They don't fit anything but that specific lift station?
Only that lift station.
Each one is designed
And
differently
what
off
type
of.
of these? What type of pumps are these?
They are, I believe they are Zoller pumps.
So there's not going to be components that are going to deteriorate from sitting in a
No.
storage unit? Okay.
No, and
Where they be
actually,
stored? Where were these?
They'll be at the wastewater plant in the shop. When we're talking stainless steel stems, flutes,
Would it be beneficial, once we get the new pumps in, to install them and have the pumps that are in there now still working as a backup? And we have a fresh pump that's more efficient.
so we're looking at doing some repairs to lift stations now, as far as, repairing some impellers and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's probably not gonna be too long, we're gonna be installing some of these. That's why we wanna kinda get ahead of this, cause we have done a lot of lift station, maintenance this year. We had Precision Pump come out and do a runaround of all of our lift stations and gave us a whole bunch of documentation of what is needed for them.
Okay, so it's,
So we're trying to jump ahead of this and,
so
we can make repairs on a lot of them.
keep the old pump as a backup? Or are you
Yes.
changing? So is that
I would
what
keep the whole pump as a backup.
So again, as you get the new pumps, you'll put them in with the improvements too, and then keep the old pump as a backup in case it fails.
Typically, you leave the pumps in the hole, and then you do annual PM on those pumps. Once you have it in the hole, you just want to come in and check the electrical components and the internals of them and improve those pumps while they're in the hole. What Mike is trying to make everybody understand is that the wastewater treatment plant and at the each lift station, because of the lead time for these pumps, sometimes even getting parts to rebuild them can be lengthy. And what we don't want is to have one pump in the hole, and even if the other one that craters on us or fails, we pull it out of the hole and we're waiting 6 to 8 weeks. If for some reason the pump that's in the hole fails, we have no other options. So what this does is give us any other option. So if we do have to rebuild the one that we're pulling out of the hole, it gives us enough time for certainty that we can still provide service.
Again, I think you're missing the point. These are considering an act to approve purchase of replacement pumps. In my mind, you have it set aside until that pump goes bad. I understand the high lead time. But if you have a new pump, why wouldn't we put the new one in when we get it? It would be more efficient, and we could either send the other one out for a rebuild or just keep it if it still passes inspection as a backup. Now we have a backup for a pump in case something happens to it. That's what I was saying. So it makes sense. If you get a new one, put it in. Put the other one on the shelf in case you have a failure. It might not be efficient as the new one, but at least you know it worked when you pulled it out. And you could put it in temporarily until you send that newer one out for either warranty repair or a rebuild. Does that make sense or no?
It does. I mean, usually you want to get as much life out of the pumps in the holes as what you can. So, I mean, you can pull one out. It may last another year or two before you need to pull it out and do a rebuild. But, I mean, we check our lift stations on SCADA. The guys check the lift stations every day. So we'll know when a pump's going bad, and that's when we want to stick a new one in there. We don't want to pull a good running pump out.
And the industry standard is typically based off of a certain amount of hours of runtime on a pump.
Yeah, I understand it still has life in it, but if you have a new pump there, why not put that in and don't wait till the other one fails to swap it out? Downtime.
We have a kind of, if you say industry standard, then there is a semi-known mean time between failure on these.
Typically, and we do our annual PM, so if one in the hole is having some sort of minor issue, we'll go ahead and pay for that minimal cost to correct that issue then and continue to let it run through its useful life cycle.
Okay,
How old, are all of these the same age? Or not necessarily?
probably not.
Not necessarily.
We try to stagger the pumps so we're not having to replace everything every year. Typically on an average with 10, you're gonna look at 2 pumps a year on an average.
Okay. Other questions, comments? Bill?
I have a motion.
Yep.
I move to approve the purchase of spare pumps for lift stations from DHS Automation for an amount not to exceed $47,252.45.
Okay. Second?
I'll second.
Director Rose made the motion. Vice President Chapman seconded at a not to exceed amount of $47,252.45. Further discussion?
Was this a budgeted item, Mike?
Through CIP,
Yes?
yes.
Okay.
All those in favor? It is unanimous. Item 7, service appreciation presentation to Director Castingay by General Manager Mr. Allen and Kelly. Yes. Here we are again.
We had to, you have to.
I'll make it quick, I promise.
Been painless.
We recognize Director Kelly Castingay for her service to the district, as this is her last board meeting. Director Castingay was elected to the board on May 15th. Dedicated 4 years of service to the board, serving as Secretary Treasurer of the board for the last 2 years. We want to express our heartfelt gratitude for your service, leadership, and dedication. You have provided valued input regarding future projects and policies, and responsible decision-making in determining the allocation of rates and tax dollars in the provision of water, sewer, and fire service for district customers. I also want to thank you personally for placing your trust in me as general manager of the district. It was no honor. Your professionalism, candor, and feedback provided to me over the past few years. Thank you for choosing to be a leader in this community, through service on this board, and making this a great place to work. That being said, I'd like to present you a token of our appreciation for your service to the district.
Got a 2022 Corvette outside?
Oh, really?
That's not a
I'm
budgeted
not giving
item,
up my
sir.
Corvette for anybody, Kevin.
That's not a budgeted item.
Not a budget.
Before you present that, Ms. Kelly, you want to say a few words?
It's been my privilege to work with all of you guys for the past 4 years, and Kevin, with you for the past 2 years. I've learned so much with the mud and the wastewater and water, and Mike and Stephen, Lori. I mean, the staff is just incredible. So thank you so much for this opportunity.
All right.
Let me get this to her. Okay, get the seal.
Go ahead, I'll get it.
Very much. Appreciate it.
Am I in the way there?
Nope.
I think, as usual, the head's in the way. Okay. Thank you, Kelly, for everything you've done. That's just awesome. Item 8, consider and take appropriate action regarding election matters. Approve Order 2022-0517A, canvassing the election returns and declaring the results of the May 7th, 2022 election. B, approve the issuance of certificates of election. And C, administer the oath of office above statement and officers and direct bonds and others such actions as necessary for directors to qualify for office. Do we make the motion first? Approve the motion, Laurie, and then?
So I'll read the results here.
Okay.
Is it working? The official results from Denton and Tarrant Counties were received from the May 7th general election, and those results were placed at the dais and are included in almost everybody's meeting agendas. If not, if you don't have one, they're over there at the table. The total number of votes cast in Denton County was 1,048, and the total number of votes cast in Tarrant County was 112. The cumulative votes for newly elected Director Tracy Hunter, Place 3, were 413. The cumulative votes for Ben Brewster, Director Place 4, was 750. And the cumulative votes for newly elected Doug Harper, Director Place 5, were 736. The bonds are complete and issued in the new directors' names. That's all I have.
Okay.
There is, you have the amended order. I emailed it out to everyone, and it's also attached there and also on the table.
Okay. Director Rose.
I have a motion. I move to approve Order 2022-0517A as amended at the dais, and also approve the issuance of certificates of election.
Okay. Do I have a second for items A and B?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a second from Secretary Treasurer Castingay. All those in favor? It is unanimous.
You're going to vote for that, huh?
Kelly's going to vote for that. All right, item C, administer the oath of office, approve statement of officers and Director of Bonds and take other such actions as necessary for directors to qualify for office. So I, as my last official duty as president of the Trophy Club Mud Municipal Utility District, I'm going to ask each of the newly elected newly elected directors to repeat the oath of office. So I'll come down to the front and do that. I'll meet you right in front. Because I'm a glutton for punishment, I'm going to do it one at a time. So, first, Director Place 3, Casey, come on up here with me. So please repeat after me. And thank you. In the name and the authority of the state of Texas, I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will fully execute the duties of the office of director of Trophy Club Municipal Utility District Number 1, State of Texas, and will, to the best of my ability, preserve, protect, and defend constitutions and laws of the United States and of the state of Texas. So help me God. So please, again, repeat after me if you would. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas.
Name and by the authority of the state of Texas.
I state your name.
I, Ben Brewster.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
That I will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute.
The duties of the office of director. Of Trophy Club Municipal Utility District.
Trophy Club Municipal District.
State of Texas.
Of the state of Texas.
And will, to the best of my ability.
And to the best of my ability.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
Preserve, protect, and defend.
The constitutions and laws of the United States.
The Constitution and laws
And of the state of Texas.
and of the state of Texas.
So help me God. Congratulations. Welcome.
Y'all are so cute. Unless it's in that folder.
Gee, I'm sorry, Doug.
Well,
No?
I don't know. Sorry, did I set it up somewhere? Oh, we got two.
Handing them out two at a time.
I'm gonna hand this to you, fine sir. And again, repeat after me if you would. In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas.
In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
I state your name.
I, Doug Harper,
Do solemnly swear or affirm.
do solemnly swear or affirm
That I will faithfully execute.
that I will faithfully execute
The duties of office of director.
the duties of the office of director
Of Trophy Club Municipal Utility District.
of Trophy Club Municipal Utility District
Of the state of Texas.
under the state of Texas,
And I will, to the best of my ability.
and I will, to the best of my ability,
Preserve, protect, and defend.
preserve, protect, and defend
The Constitution and laws of the United States.
the Constitution and the laws of the United States
And the state of Texas.
and of the state of Texas.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations and welcome.
as a side note, I officially swore in the newly elected directors, and that was all done prior to the meeting.
All right, I think this is the time where Kelly and I make our departure.
How about Mark?
Hey,
Mark,
I'm leaving too.
Oh, Mark, you get to
take-
leave too.
Take Mark along with you?
Steve,
Yes, sir.
I think you have some other items up here.
Oh, I do. I'm gonna come here.
Want these? No.
It's been interesting.
Likewise, and fun.
I'm a hugger.
Hey, Kelly. Hey, Kelly, let's get a picture of the three of us down here.
Okay.
Go out and rally around the Corvette.
Yeah.
That's all right. I did it officially before, and that'll be noted.
Y'all just take a seat. If any of them, it's fine. Okay. Wherever's available.
My bag is down there that comes in the computer case.
Okay.
So just FYI.
We'll get you taken care of.
It's
We'll
not
get
mine.
it taken care of.
It's the laptop. No, it's the laptop.
It goes with the laptop.
Laptops or?
We need to leave them here.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, we're sending them off with it.
I think it's still warm.
They have the meeting.
Sir. Good luck to you.
Nothing changed in the other agenda items that they needed it.
Correct.
You're not gonna sit over there?
Just two final items.
Here, let me clean off a spot.
Thank you.
We'll just put that right there for now.
We get to take the gavel, or does that gotta stay?
Oh, yeah.
Nice memento.
Excuse me, can I squeeze? Thank you.
To take that home and frame it, put it with all of the rest of the things on your I Love Me wall.
Something, because
Stay out the door.
He's in there.
No, he's in the back.
He's in the AV room.
He's not in there. Must be in- We're just gonna leave them. We'll just leave them until the end of the
Yeah,
meeting,
we'll
and
get
we'll
that.
grab them.
We need Mark for a picture. Come on, IT.
We got places to go.
Yeah. We got a meeting to run here.
slide the chair over.
Oh, I guess Bill. Okay, you're Bill. Come on. Up to y'all, y'all are existing. Huh? General questions.
General,
So,
regarding what y'all were discussing.
we can go back to the previous item if you'd like. Yeah.
Wait till we do 9, and you can say, I'd like to revisit. Item, whatever you want to revisit. What item was it?
One was it about?
Oh, the one we haven't done yet.
Right. That's the one.
Yeah,
Who
whoever.
do I direct it to?
You gonna change that for 4 years?
Once he opens it, I think Bill's gonna do it, he'll open it, and then you can direct the question. Because we're not gonna do anything until he answers your question.
Need to ask for comments from your directors.
She can ask it right now, right before.
Sure.
Yeah, just say, yeah, I have a question on number 9. Thank you, guys.
He has a question.
Okay,
Say, I have a question on 9. Put your mic down.
Before we visit agenda item number 9, I have a question, please.
sure.
Can we take a vote on who will temporarily run the meeting until we vote on, nominate and vote who will become president? Can we do that?
believe y'all can.
There's no action
There's
item
no
there.
action item on it, so.
You could
the-
state your opinion and then decide, but there's no action listed to do that, to vote for somebody
Temporarily?
temporarily. So you guys
Correct.
could just make a decision without taking a vote.
Correct. And the discussion with our legal counsel was to just have one of the existing board members finish the two remaining items. Next month's meeting, we'll have the election of officers to the board, where you all will be able to nominate and elect officers at that time.
So what did Tony
We're
say?
doing, no, we're doing now.
That does
It's
that
on
now.
the-
That's
That
now,
does
Alan.
Agenda item now.
That's 9.
That's 9.
That's what we're doing now.
We
Okay,
need someone to
I'm
lead
sorry.
the meeting currently.
correct.
So can we vote on who we would like to have run the meeting until
Well,
we're voted, someone is voted in as president?
if number 9 is the item that's up for discussion, it seems to me that you would go ahead and go into nominations.
But someone has to open.
Somebody has to
number
open.
9.
And right now, since there are no officers, my understanding is that it does not matter.
Okay,
Since you
then
are a
I
board
would-
of director.
I would like to go directly into making a nomination for president, and I would like to nominate Kevin Carr, please.
Thank you very much.
And I would like to make a nomination for Director Rose for president.
Okay, so now you ask for any other nominees,
Are there any other nominees?
and you ask for the vote.
All right, let's vote. Everyone in favor of Bill for president, raise your hand. Everyone in favor for Kevin for president, raise your hand.
Say who voted.
Kevin Carr, Tracy Hunter, and hold on, because I'm new here. Ben Brewster voted for Kevin Carr as president, and Doug Harper and Bill Rose voted for Bill Rose.
Thank you very much. I'll take it from here. We're still on election of officers, board of directors of the district, and we're going to take nominees for the vice president of the MUD board. Do I have any nominations?
I'd like to make a nomination.
Go ahead.
I'd like to nominate Ben Brewster for vice president.
Okay, Tracy Hunter nominates Mr. Brewster for vice president. Any other nominations?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Director Rose.
Okay, Director Doug Harper nominates Director Bill Rose for vice president. Any other ones? Okay, we'll call for the vote. The first nomination was Mr. Brewster. All in favor of? Show your hands. Okay, I have Director Rose, I have Director Brewster, Director Hunter, and myself, 4. All opposed, or for Director Rose, all 4. I have Director Harper. So congratulations, Mr. Brewster. Vice President Brewster, that is. Okay. I'll open the floor for nominations for Secretary Treasurer.
While I'm on a roll, I think I'll make a nomination.
Okay.
I would like to nominate Doug Harper for secretary and treasurer.
Okay, Director Hunter nominates Mr. Harper. Director Harper for Secretary Treasurer. Any other nominations? Well, that's easy. All in favor of Director Harper for Secretary Treasurer, shows of hands? Okay, it's unanimous, so congratulations, Secretary Treasurer Harper. So we have myself as president, we have Vice President Brewster, and we have Secretary Treasurer Harper for the board. Congratulations to all.
May I make a comment?
Sure you can.
Since we're still on this item, I'd like to say that I'm a fair and consistent individual, and I do my due diligence when researching items that I'm going to vote on. And Bill, I spoke with you at length,
Okay,
and I also,
yeah.
I'm not going to make
Yeah, well,
comments.
you-
This will be good.
Yeah, but you're off topic. You can't.
No,
we'll
I'm
talk-
still on item number 9.
I know, but that's election of officer positions. You can make a comment. We can go back.
We can go
to
back?
the approve the take the oath and everything. And I don't think it was allowed, but the new incoming directors can make a comment, and we'll do it at that. So can we go back to number 8? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyone have any problem with that? Okay. We're going to go revisit agenda number 8 on the incoming officers, so you can make a comment now.
I appreciate that because I am learning here.
No problem.
Anyways, I'm just going to make this quick. So I had asked specific questions of both of you prior to my decision on who I wanted to nominate. And, no hard feelings, Bill, I hope. But when I asked the question on how this portion, a portion of this meeting would be run, I did not receive a direct answer. And, I had asked, where do I find this information? I did not receive a direct answer. And my conversation was a complete 180 when I spoke with now President Carr, and I received direct answers. So, I like making a sound decision, and I just want to say I hope no hard feelings and who I nominated for. And that's all I have to say.
Okay, Vice President Brewster, do you have any comments?
I don't.
Okay. Secretary Treasurer Harper?
No comment.
Okay, we'll move on. We're done 9. We're on 10. Consider and take action, appropriate action regarding district bank signatories, including A, approve resolution number 2022-0517, A, designating authorized signers of Prosperity Bank accounts. B, approve resolution number 2022-0517B, as in Bravo, designating depository institutions, designating authorized signatories for the disbursement of district funds, providing for electronic transfers of district funds, and containing other matters related thereto. C, approving resolution number 2022-0517, C as in Charlie, designating depository designation, authorized signers on the tax pool accounts. And we've completed that, is that correct? We have all the signatures?
These are the resolutions for the signatures.
Right, but do we have the signatures on the paper?
No, we'll need, now that we have a president and the secretary treasurer, we'll have to have additional signatures on these resolutions.
I'll entertain a motion for these.
Move to approve?
Okay. I have a motion by Vice President Brewster. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, I have a second by Mr. Rose? Oh, Mr. Harper. I didn't look and see. Okay, so we have a motion by Vice President Brewster, a second by Secretary Treasurer Harper. All in favor, show of hands. You gonna vote for this?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Okay,
It's
it's
something else on my mind, so sorry.
unanimous. All directors approved. Okay, moving, you gotta pay attention here, okay? Okay, number 11, items for future agenda. Does anyone have any items for future agenda?
I do.
Okay,
I think on the next agenda, we might want to look at electioneering and political signage on the fire department property. And may have to roll the attorney into that one. And the second one is we need to place members on the Strategic Partnership Committee so we can start moving that back along again.
okay. Sounds good. Anyone have anything else? Vice President Brewster, you have anything?
I don't.
Secretary Treasurer Harper?
I do not, sir.
Tracy, do you have anything?
No, I do not.
Okay, so, staff, please put those 2 items that Director Rose requested. And agenda number 12, set future meeting dates. A regular meeting and orientation workshop, June 20th, 2022 at 6:30. Is that right, Lori?
Yes. It'll start with a orientation by Ellen and Tony, quick orientation of the for the new members, and then going right into the regular meeting. Then go right into the regular meeting.
Okay. Anyone have any problem with that day? Okay, I don't hear any comments, so the next meeting is June 20th, 2022 at 6:30. And we don't need to make a motion, but the meeting is adjourned at 8:34.